Hey guys, hope you're having a beautiful day today. So reading through my comments, I've seen a couple subscribers ask me, hey, what should I get? I want to buy a gaming computer, a gaming desktop, what type of things I should get on it? What do you recommend? So I decided to make a video to help you guys out on buying a gaming computer or any computer in general. It doesn't have to be specifically for gaming. What questions you should ask yourself before buying one of these computers, as you can see on the screen. Now, the first thing I think a person should ask himself is, what will you be using this computer for, right? If it's for gaming, then how often are you going to game? It's only going to be like maybe once a week? Is it going to be a daily thing? Is it going to be maybe a couple times a month? How often are you going to game? Because you don't want to have something that's really powerful and crazy, but you're only using it once a month to game, right? So I think that's a very good question to ask yourself. How often, what will you be using it? What will you be using it for, right? Are you only going to use it to watch YouTube videos? Are you going to use it for schoolwork, maybe you're a graphics designer or something, and maybe you need a little more memory, a good graphics card to do your schoolwork, whatever, you put on the list. Okay, I'm going to be using it for XYZ. All right, that's the first question. Second question to ask yourself will be, what's your budget in total? What's your total budget to spend? Some of you are like, I don't have a budget. Money's not an issue. I could spend as much as I want. And okay, that's good. But most people, they have a budget. And I just want you to keep in mind that it's not only going to be your computer, right? It's not only going to be this computer, as you can see here on the screen. It's going to be a little more. Think about how much you're going to spend on the monitor, depending on on what you select, right? Think about you're going to spend on the keyboard and the mouse. Maybe you want a wireless keyboard. You don't want the one that comes in stock. Maybe a camera you want. Nowadays, people, Zoom is really popular, and people that didn't have a camera, they went out to buy a camera. Think about your antivirus and any other software you might need on the computer. Think about the speakers as well. Computer needs some speakers. Maybe you need a microphone. I don't know. But think about those things as well. So it's not only the computer itself. You might want to add, let's say if you buy this one right here, 1900, you might want to add another 500 for the monitor, the speakers, the wireless keyboard, antivirus software, camera, etc. So that's the second question. What is your total budget for everything? Not only the PC, but everything else that goes with that PC as well. All right, the third question is, what quality are you okay playing at? If it's a gaming PC, are you okay with 1080p? Or maybe you're like, no, 1080p, it's not for me. I want a little higher. Okay, maybe 1440p, maybe 4K. Just keep in mind that the smaller the monitor you buy, right, the less differences you're gonna see in the quality, or in other words, it's not gonna be so noticeable. And you could see that here as well. As you could see, for watching television and video on a 24-inch monitor, right, a 24-inch monitor is too small for any noticeable difference between 1080p and 4K. You may find that either a 32-inch monitor or larger becomes relevant when it comes to 4K, right? So keep that in mind. So if you want to get a 4K, that's fine. Yes, it's going to look better, but it's also going to look smaller if you get a really small monitor. So that's the third question. What quality are you okay paying at? If it's 1080p, then that's great. Don't buy a monitor that's too big, because then you're gonna see the pixels a little more, right? And it's gonna look a little blurry. So maybe go for something that it's a little smaller. I guess the question 3.5 will be, how big of a monitor do you want? I think that'll be the question 3.5, right? Because if you want to have a small monitor, then do you really need 4K? Yeah, it will look a little better, but the difference is not that noticeable. I think the sweet spot will be 1440p. I think that's where most people are at least gaming at nowadays. Nice. So once you think about that, what quality you want to play on, your total budget, what will you be using it for? I think the fourth question will be, how many frames per second, if you're getting a gaming computer, how many frames per second are you comfortable with? You know, and you could see here in this website I have up, this is the RTX 3070 running a games at 1440 pixel, and he could run Shadow of Tomb Raider at 118 frames per second average, which is pretty good, you know. This is at 1440p. And you have some other ones like Fortnite, he could run it at 215 frames per second. If you got the 3080, it'll run it at 225. You got a little more, but the difference is not that great, right? So you don't want to get something that's more expensive just to gain what, 10 frames per second? Come on. Here you do see a big difference here. 172 DL's SS quality to 212. But again, if you're okay with 1440p, do you need an RTX 3080? I don't think it's needed. With a 3070, it'll be fine. It'll be more than well. It'll work great, you know. Counter-Strike Go, 275 frames per second. That's good. So that'll be the other question to ask. How many frames per second are you comfortable with, right? You can see another example here on Horizon Zero Dawn. And this is at 3840 by 2160 resolution, which is basically 4K, right? And Horizon Zero Dawn is a very graphic intensive game. So you can see that the 3080 will play this game at 4K at an average of 73 frames per second. And the 3070 will play it at 57 frames per second. So to have a good gaming experience, you want to have at least minimum 60 frames per second. So if you want to do 4K, then definitely go for an RTX 3080 graphics card, right? All right, so the next question will be, this will be the fifth question. It will be again about the monitor. Can you afford to buy a monitor that can keep up with the graphics card your PC is going to output? So if you got a 3080 and you buy the monitor that I have, which is a Samsung Odyssey, I think it is. It's one of those gaming Samsung monitors. This is only a 1080p monitor, so you're gonna have a graphics card that could play 4K quality games, but you only have a 1080p monitor, right? So you just think about that. Just keep that in the budget as well. If I want this, then I'm gonna have to get this. And if you think it doesn't add up, then just go a little bit lower. 1440p is great quality in my opinion. All right, so yeah, can you afford the monitor? Can you afford the monitor that can keep up with those graphics? And I guess the sixth question will be, how long will you keep this PC? Are you gonna sell it in 3 or 4 years? You know, if you're like, hey, you know, I want to keep it for 7, 8, maybe 10 years if possible. Okay, that's fine. Just, it's a good question to ask because you might want to future-proof your PC, right? In other words, if you're okay right now playing at 1440p, then you might go for the 3070. But if you want to future-proof, you're like, I'm not gonna buy another PC for at least another 8 years. Then might just want to go with the 3080, and you'll future-proof it that way. Or just buy the 3070, and in 4 years, when the newer graphics card come out, whatever they name it, the 4070, the 570, whatever, just take the 3070 out and put the newer one. You could do that as well, but try to future-proof it. This is good for maybe memory. Right now, 16 gigs of RAM is good. It's great. 16 gigs is a great amount. But as the years go by, games are getting bigger and bigger. Applications are getting bigger and bigger in your computer as well. So you might want to get 32 gigs. Maybe not now, but maybe in 2 years you might want to upgrade that to 32 gigs of RAM, right? So just keep that in mind when buying a PC. Make sure that you could easily take things out and put them back in. All right, and the last question, number 7, how much storage will you need? If you're gonna play a lot of games, you're gonna be a daily gamer, you're gonna play different games, you're gonna need a lot of storage, right? You're gonna need a lot of storage because these games are not cheap, are not small. They're pretty big, and they get bigger as the year progresses and everything. So I think the best one right now is to get a SSD plus a hard drive, HDD, and having the SSD actually be the one that boots the computer, right? Because it's gonna be way faster. As you can see here, when you go to the Alienware website, you can see right here, they have these options here. So whenever you buy one of these, it doesn't even have to be Alienware specifically. It could be also CyberPower or any other website. Try to get that mix, 512 SSD plus a 1 terabyte SATA drive. Or you might want to get 1 terabyte SSD or 1 terabyte SATA, whatever. Just try to get an SSD that could do the booting and maybe install all the applications you use on a daily basis. It worked great. And then the other one, the HSD, you could use it just to store some files and stuff there. But yeah, just keep those questions in mind. I'll review them again in case you forgot. So the first one, what will you be using it for? What are you going to use this computer for, right? So for gaming, it's to watch YouTube videos. So for schoolwork. Number 2, what's your budget in total? Not only the PC, not only the computer itself. Remember, it's the monitor, the wireless keyboards, the mouse, the speakers, any software you need, antivirus, video editing, whatever you need. What's your budget in total? What quality are you okay playing at? If it's for gaming, what quality are you okay playing at? 1080p, 1440p, 4K. I got a 24-inch monitor. I'm okay at playing at 1080p. I don't mind. It looks great. But you might be different. Maybe 1440p is your thing. Maybe 4K. Just remember, if you're going 4K, you might want to have a bigger monitor to actually see a bigger difference, right? Alright, I'll make a separate video on that as well if you guys want to. Leave it in the comments below if you actually want me to make a video about it, describing the monitors and why it's better to have a bigger monitor to see those differences, right? Alright, next question, how many frames per second are you comfortable with? Can you afford to buy a monitor that can keep up with the graphics the PC is outputting? You could actually link question 2, what's your total budget, and that question together. Next one, how long will you keep this PC for? You might want to plan to future-proof the PC. And the last one, how much storage do you need? I think if you answer all these questions, you have a better understanding of what you actually need for gaming or any other activities you're planning to do with the computer. Alright guys, this is it for this video. It's definitely longer than my normal videos, you could say. I hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment below. Let me know if you already got your PC, if you're planning to buy a PC, if you have any questions. Hey Sage, should I get this, should I get that? I'm planning to use it for this, what do you recommend? Yeah, let me know. I'll definitely I'll reply back. I always reply. I try to keep a good engagement with the community. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Please give a like and subscribe. It's gonna really help grow this channel, and stay safe out there guys. Peace.